just go and challenge yourself to do push-ups, sit-ups, and body weight squats.
What we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do at the live podcast? We might have to do an example of breath work. We might have the audience do some breath work for fun.
I would love to. We can absolutely get everybody to do breath work together. Yeah.
Just even if it's like what we'll go over. That's something you guys live podcast December or October 11th, 7 p.m. Regent Theater, Los Angeles. Go on my Instagram link tree. It's all there. But like, I love that you do that. I love that you're aware of it. I love that you're not mean to yourself when you kind of veer away from that path of where you want to be. And it's like, I get mad at myself and look, this may sound funny, but I don't have a drug addiction. I have a popcorn addiction. And I know it's funny. I know it sounds funny, but I have a popcorn maker, like one of those like theater popcorn makers. And when I sit in front of the TV every night, I can't stop myself from eating tons of popcorn. And I'm like, this is bad for you. You're doing it every day, but I can't. It's like an addiction. So I'm like, well, how do I stop? It's like, you know what I mean?
Well, you can. I mean, listen here. I have dealt with various forms of addiction my whole life, and I again, having done more and more kind of deep diving into my childhood and my life and just kind of, you know, all things, I realized that, by the way, almost all addiction has to do with dopamine too. Not all of it, but a lot of it, because dopamine is you are satisfied, you are achieving whatever. So, you know, the addiction, when I used to smoke a pack a day for 15 years, part of it is getting the nicotine, but also the nicotine activates dopamine, but also I am doing the thing that my body is saying, hey, go achieve that, go get that other cigarette, get another cigarette, and then you do it, you know. So I do think that as performers, I know for a fact that you get a lot of dopamine when you go and perform for people. I mean, honestly, doing Broadway was the greatest drug I've ever done in my life, because you're just like, you're just wired. I mean, for me, some people, you know, it's very interesting, and it all depends on energy and introverts and extroverts and stuff. But I see somebody saying coffee addiction. Yes, coffee as well. You can be absolutely addicted to coffee, and it's not even the properties of that. It's like, you know, giving you pep. You are giving yourself dopamine along with that. But but you know, some people I do Broadway with, they'd be done with a show and they were zombies. They were so dead. They had no energy left. Done with the show, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I would want to go and do stage door, and I would go meet all the fans who came to stage door, and I'd sign for everybody and take photos and play music, and then I'd be done with that. And I'm like, all right, what's now? What are we doing now? Because I'm an extrovert, and so I get energy from people, and that dopamine keeps going. So, you know, your popcorn addiction is in part because, by the way, popcorn is tasty and it's light also. So it's like, you know, you eat it and it's not filling, but it's filling, but it's not filling. And so you're just kind of keep going with it.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, if you're a savory guy like I am, I mean, you know, I could eat popcorn, chips, jerky, like I could just keep going.
Yeah, I keep going.
I love it so much.
Like, dude, are you serious? You're still eating?
Yeah.
If it's in front of me. Yeah.
But part of that is also because you're treating yourself, and the treat is in some way kind of a form of you've accomplished, you know, because dopamine is tied to our kind of encouragement reward center, right? So it was what our body created to continue to keep us going and doing things that were quite difficult. I mean, it's why people get runner's high. It's why people, you know, you go and work out at the gym and you feel good afterwards. It's like you're sort of pushing through something, and then you get rewarded with all of that. And so, but the unfortunate thing is that, well, unfortunate, I think I even talked about this on the podcast, but dopamine is in this pain pleasure lever. And so you can push down on the pain, which is anything that's a challenge for you in your life, working out, running hard, solving puzzles. Video games are real tricky, because video games, you do, in a lot of respects, you are achieving something, right? You have all these little goals, all these little thresholds, all these little checkpoints, all these little puzzles to solve. And those puzzles, solving puzzles and problem solving, are actually good ways of getting dopamine. But then